A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the West Ham Voice on Friday afternoon. I hope you're looking forward to the weekend and hope you're looking forward to our game where we host Crystal Palace at the London Stadium on Saturday. Now, we're buoyed by the fact that the first two games under Graham Potter have been very encouraging. The performances have been much improved, and the way we set up is a lot more forward thinking. And all the players know exactly what is now expected of them. And we're playing as a team, as a unit, rather than 11 individuals. Look, if you're new to this channel, please do consider becoming a subscriber of the channel. Costs nothing to subscribe. And if you've watched the channel before, yet to become a subscriber, please do so. And whether you're new, passing through, or an existing subscriber, please make sure you hit the like button as you leave the video. Now, one player who certainly is playing much better and who certainly seems to have his bounce back is, of course, Lucas Paquetá. Now, the news broke out on Thursday by Sean Whetstone that the FA hearing about Paquetá has now been delayed until the end of the season. If you remember, I think it was meant to originally be held in November or January, something like that. And then it was delayed until March. And now we heard yesterday that it's been delayed until the end of the season, which is great news. It's great news for the player. And it's also great news for West Ham because now we can just focus on what's happening on the pitch until the end of this season. And also, we don't have to worry too much about trying to potentially look at getting another player in the January window to potentially replace Paquetá should he be suspended or banned from playing football. So it's all great. And perhaps this could be a major contributor towards the way Paquetá has played over the last few games. But of course, you've also got to look at the influence that Graham Potter has had, not only on the Brazilian, but also the rest of the squad in such a short space of time. We go into this game against a very good Crystal Palace side who are unbeaten in their last 5 games in all competitions. Their last defeat was against Arsenal in December, where they were beaten 5-1 at home. Oliver Glasner's side didn't start the season too well, and we managed to take advantage of that with one of our rare wins under Julen Lopetegui when we beat them 2-0 at their ground in the second game of the season. Going into this game, their league record over the past 5 games is marginally better than ours. They've won 2, drawn 2, and lost just the 1 game. Whereas we have won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1. However, we sit 2 places above them with 2 additional points in the league as it currently stands. Look, should we manage to get a win in this game, our confidence is going to soar, and dependent on the results around us, we may find ourselves in the top half of the league come the end of the weekend's fixtures. Yes, I always look at the positives without a doubt. Now, with regards to Palace, Chelsea did us a big favour earlier this week by calling back central defender Trevor Chalobah from his loan spell. So he clearly won't be playing against us. But their defence is still pretty decent with Mark Guehi in really fine form. Oliver Glasner has built a decent team at Crystal Palace, and despite losing Michael Elise to Bayern Munich in the summer, they've tried to spend that money wisely that they got from him on players such as centre-back Maxence Lacroix, winger Ismaila Sarr, as well as bringing in free signing Daichi Kamada. Perhaps the player that hasn't quite worked out for them so far this season is striker Eddie Nketiah, who they signed their record signing on a signing fee of 30 million euros in the summer from Arsenal. Now, Glasner operates with a 3 at the back system with 2 holding midfielders and then with 5 attacking players. It's a very brave move, a very bold move, which can sometimes leave them quite vulnerable at the back. There isn't much focus on Glasner playing possession football. It's all about getting the ball forward quickly to their wide players. Now, other players that are going to be missing from the lineup on Saturday is going to be defensive midfielder Jefferson Lerma, who will miss the game due to illness, and potentially winger Ismaila Sarr might also miss the game due to suffering a bit of tightness with his hamstring. But Glasner won't make a decision on Sarr until the very last moment. Now, if that happens, clearly Glasner's going to have to rethink how he's going to set his team up. Lerma really helps in that holding midfield role as a two of a holding midfield. So he's going to have to think about what he does to compensate for that. And players like Sarr, for example, offer them speed and agility, and he will be a handful if he does play against our defence. He's got 4 goals and 3 assists so far this season. But they've got other threats as well. Tyrick Mitchell on the left side can also cause problems in the left wing back position, is a really good crosser of the ball. And Wan-Bissaka is going to need the support to actually not get exposed down that side. But Crystal Palace's talisman, Eberechi Eze, is another player that we've got to look out for in the centre of the park. He's got the ability to control the game, and he's on a good run of form at the moment, where he's got 2 goals and 4 assists so far this season. And then up front, their top goal scorer is striker Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's got 6 goals. He's their top goal scorer this season. So they can score from a number of different positions, and they are very dangerous in the attack. They've got speed, they've got agility, and they've got goal scoring in most of their players who are in attacking positions. Glasner also gets his team to close down and press quite high up the pitch, almost strangling the opposition to get the ball out of their own half. But this is where, as I've just mentioned, where we can benefit. With such a high press and many attacking players on the pitch, if we can get through that, then they can be exposed and got at. As for West Ham, you can see the confidence is back, as I've already said. There are smiles all round, and the players look so much more at ease with how things are going under Graham Potter. Potter talks about the team and the importance of being a unit, with the academy being equally as important to that setup. When he was asked about transfers in his press conference on Thursday, Potter suggested that the academy players play a vital role at this club. They're as important as the senior team. And you can see from the team selections that he's already made, who's been in the lineup, such as Scarles, and who's on the bench, such as the likes of Caelan Casey and Lewis Orford, as well as Scarles. As for our lineup, we are waiting on further news on Crysencio Summerville, whether he's going to be fit or not. Again, in his press conference on Thursday, Potter suggested that this game may have come just a little bit too soon for Summerville, but he will give it until the last moment before making a final decision as to whether the player can be selected or not. With regards to other injuries, well, we know Jared Bowen is still out. He's now running on grass again, but I still think caution here that I still think he won't be back till about mid-February. Love to see that. I'd love to see him coming back sooner. And the other injury, of course, is Jean-Claire Todibo, who's still out and still getting treatment for, I think it's a hamstring that he's suffered. If Summerville is deemed fit, now I can see him stepping in to replace Guido Rodriguez in the lineup that started against Fulham on Tuesday. And the only other player which looks like will be back is Alphonse Areola, but my understanding is he'll probably feature from the bench rather than in the starting lineup itself. Now, if Rodriguez is dropped, then I can see Thomas Soucek going back into a deeper role alongside Alvarez, and then Summerville will take his place out, probably out on the right side of attack again, as he did against Aston Villa. Now, Potter would have a decision to make as to whether he would revert to a back 3, as he did against Villa, or whether he'll stick to a back 4, as he did against Fulham in the league on Tuesday night. And I guess that really is down to whether Summerville is going to be available or not. The only other difference to Saturday's lineup is who starts up front. Because as Potter has alluded to, he's got choices. It may be that he might stick with Paqueta, who started the game up front against Fulham on Tuesday night, or he may decide to this time put Kudus in that striker role. he did, he did a good thing in the way he talked about Kudus after the game on Tuesday night, about how he put a lot of effort in against Aston Villa last Friday, and then he had to be taken off to be kept fresh whilst we were playing Fulham, in order to be fresh for the game against Crystal Palace. But he also kind of suggested that he needed Wan-Bissaka to have more cover on that right side, hence putting Kudus in the middle of the park, because Kudus kind of stopped running a little bit on that side. If he plays Summerville on that right, then he will rely on Summerville to help out Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right. And then I think we'll see much the same on the left side with Emerson and Paquetá playing further on that left side. So let's look at the team in total. Like I said, I think Areola is back, but it's likely that he'll be on the bench. You know my feelings on that. I do think Areola should be our starting goalie, but, let's see how Fabianski does against Crystal Palace at the weekend. If Summerville is back, then I think we'll go with the three at the back: Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos and Kilman, with Souček and Alvarez in kind of that deep holding midfield area. And then you're kind of four attacking players of Summerville. Sarr will keep his place, Paquetá and Emerson on the left side, and then Kudus in the middle. If Summerville is not back, I think Potter will keep a four at the back. Again, Fabianski in goal, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Kilman, and Emerson making the back four. Then Rodriguez will retain his place alongside Alvarez, with Souček playing just a little bit further forward, and Sarr and Paquetá either side of Kudus up front. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't think it's going to be a game where it's going to be 0-0. Both teams are very capable of scoring goals, and both teams are very capable of conceding goals as well. I'm going to go with a 3-2 win for West Ham United. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think it's going to be a fast-moving game. I think we're going to have to be, really up for this, because Crystal Palace are not the sort of side that we played at the beginning of the season. They're much changed and much improved. So they're going to come and give us a game. They're going to be confident because, of course, if they win, they go above us in the league by a point. If we win, we start pushing up that table. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, please consider becoming a subscriber. And whether you subscribe or not, please do hit the like button on your way out of this video. And I will see you all very soon.